Hello and welcome to the Voice of Iron. And in this battle rant, I want to talk about the Locust LCT-1E, aka the Energy Locust. So recently, I've been going through Mechwarrior 5 yet again. I've been having a pretty good time starting over and learning how to struggle once again with the low number of C-bills and really having to balance out my budget. I can't exactly do what I normally do in, late stage Steiner playthroughs and just flood the battlefield with assault mechs and worry about the bills later. I can't exactly look at my, millions and millions of C-bills and go, yeah, I can risk throwing whatever at the enemy because, like any true Lyran would. Instead, I have to really consider what I'm doing and how well I'm doing it, and cost effectiveness really goes into everything. The whole reason I'm talking about cost is because in the arena circuit early on, I decided to try and, especially in free-for-alls, make a little money by throwing myself in there with a Locust LCT-1E, the Energy Locust. This thing is armed with just 2 Martel medium lasers and 2 Magna small lasers, and both of them are mounted in the arms. So first off, they're kind of exposed and out there, although, I can aim up and down above my cockpit reticle fairly easily. And it's fragile. It's very fragile. I mean, 4 tons of armor is nothing to sneeze at, but it's still very, very... one good shot from someone is going to stop me. But nonetheless, I decided to go ahead and run out in the circuit. And at first, I got a little lucky. Some free-for-all light matches, and twin medium lasers will really mess up light mechs, especially if you get in some good shots. Run some circles around your enemies, try and get behind, bing, bang, boom, strip the rear armor, and they're gone. And of course, that's kind of what I chalked it up to. It was luck. After all, sure, yeah, winning in a Locust is a feat for the most part, but when you're fighting other light mechs, it's not that hard. But I had a particular free-for-all, and it was a true free-for-all, where I decided to try my luck with the Energy Locust, and I mostly ran about, did some harassing tactics, shoot a Centurion in the back and then run behind a rock, shoot the leg off of a javelin that was already damaged from another opponent, and, overall just kind of harass the enemy. And it got towards the end of the arena match. The battle was, nearly finished. Almost every opponent was taken down. But I realized there's, I believe, 8 people on this battlefield. And I've only taken tabs of 7. Then I get a ping in the distance. A completely clean Wolverine. Nothing off of this thing. The armor is completely clean. He is just walking back and forth along some rocks on the ridge. This guy was trying to wait out the match. He was going to try and hide in the back corner and let everyone else destroy themselves, or let whoever was unfortunate enough to make it out of that scuffle alive come and find him. Oh, and that was me. I was already a little damaged on my legs and my front armor. Of course, I'm a Locust, so, pretty much anything will damage me. Falling wrong will damage me. Flak will damage me. But there I was. 1 Energy Locust. And a Wolverine. At that point, you might consider just resetting, but I figured, you know what, I'm just going to go for broke. I'm going to try it. And so I charge up to this thing. I move around the rocks. It's tense for a little bit because I can't get a good visual on this thing. And then finally I round the corner, and there it is. Wolverine standing and waiting. His CERM 6 fires and shoots the ground by me. Already I'm off to it. Just a terrible start. It's like, okay, he's got the drop on me, and this is going to be a problem. This dude's got an AC-5. It's rapid fire. He is firing at me. So I lock into a circle pattern, and I start just tilting myself. I go into the death circle and try and run around his sides, firing everything that I can. I've set my lasers to where they are on rotating fire so that I don't burn myself out, and I'm just going at him. And then something very interesting happens. I realize I'm running fast enough to where he's not training very well ahead of me. he's barely missing me. Now, that means I can't slow down. I can't even bother to, like, trip on a rock. And if I'm gonna lose the pattern, I have to kind of loop back around. But moving at top speed, running in circles around this Wolverine, I'm actually dealing more damage to him than he is to me. Yeah, he gets a shot off or two and, strips my armor with each successful hit, but I'm actually doing something. His core is turning red. His core armor falls off. I'm ecstatic. My heart is pounding. I am running around this guy in a little Locust, and this guy's jumping up. He's firing his AC-5. Every time he fires that SERM-6, I just panic a little. I'm like, this is it. One good hit of those SERMs, and I'm dead. And somehow, it doesn't happen. And to my absolute shock, when the medium lasers make contact with his red center torso, he's popped. His core goes critical. I did it. I took down a Wolverine with a little Locust. I mean, just going for cost value, that is bang for your buck. But all things considered, that taught me something. That taught me never to underestimate a good pilot or a good mech. Now, obviously, this was not exactly the most experienced Wolverine pilot. I'm sure that if that guy was a veteran, that would have been a very different story. Again, I'm pretty sure he wasn't training ahead of me. Otherwise, he would have gotten me pretty good. But nonetheless, the fact that a Locust was able to even take on a Wolverine at all and win, oh man. I mean, that's not just luck. That's... Speed is life is a common phrase both on the tabletop and reasonably in the games for Battletech. And this thing is fast. This thing is stupidly fast. And again, twin medium lasers and even twin small lasers is nothing to sneeze at up close. So that gave me a newfound respect for this thing. I've always liked the Locust. I mean, it's a very, very nice mech. It's fast, it's efficient, and as far as light mech goes, I think it's the best 20-tonner out there. But, I mean, seeing what you can do with one? Ooh, I was quite impressed. Anyway, I would continue to go on through the arena circuit with this thing, and I would continue to go on scout missions and things like that with the Energy Locust, and all in all, it goes about as well as you would expect. Energy Locust is incredible at scouting. I can quickly dish out enough damage to pop anything that happens to see me when I get close enough, and for the most part, things don't see me as long as I stay about 100 meters out from anything. It's good fun, but just... I wanted to tell the story of taking down the Wolverine in an arena match one-on-one, a clean Wolverine with a slightly damaged Energy Locust, because I just never underestimate the light mechs, guys. I got a buddy of mine who I play Mechwarrior 5 with fairly often, and he and I do a lot of arena matches together just to make some money, and he also loves the Locust. Of course, he likes to modify the heck out of them just to see what he can do with it. Now, this is the same guy... if you listened to my Locust reading and rant, that I made El Stupido with. The custom Locust where we strapped an AC-2 to the thing and enough ammo to matter. But sometimes he and I will go out into an arena match or a light match or even a free-for-all. Yes, I know you're only supposed to take one mech to a free-for-all, but I mean, come on, as long as we're under tonnage, right? We go in as a tag team of Locusts, and he and I will enter a death spiral around our chosen target and just hammer the guy. Like, yeah, sure, we do end up losing the mech sometimes, and I have learned that I run into a problem where I don't eject often enough, so that leads to problems for our personnel retention. Nonetheless, I have a great respect for the Locust as a battle mech, just because of circumstances like that. It's so easy to discount the little 20-tonners, to discount the little light mechs that you think can't do much of anything. I mean, shoot, one of my other favorite mechs is the Commando for similar reasons. You run around somebody, you blast them, they die. They die a little faster with the Commando, but it's also got lighter armor, and I don't know, it seems more impressive to me that one of the lightest, cheapest, and technically not well-armed mechs is able to deal a lot of damage if you know what you're doing with it. This is not me bragging that I know how to drive a Locust really well. This is me saying, dude, the Locust is good. I think I mentioned that in my Locust reading and rant, but I wanted to tell that story a little bit and just kind of talk about my experiences with the Locust, especially the Energy Locust. Because again, no worry about ammo explosion, no worry about actually, losing ammunition in the middle of a long enduring fight. If you are fast enough and if you are, smart enough with the way that you place yourself, especially, in between cover, then you can live for, almost indefinitely in this thing. And you can really wreak some havoc. If there is a conclusion to all of this, it's Locusts are cool. Energy Locusts have extreme endurance. And ultimately, I've had a lot of fun lately just running around in what should be one of the cheapest and lightest mechs. Something that most people just write off as, by the end of the late game, why do I even worry about it? You need to worry about these things. Locusts are scary if the pilot knows what they're doing. Anyway, that concludes my little side rant here. About the Energy Locust and my fun times in it. And maybe I'll do more of these in the future, so thanks for listening to my battle rant. And as always, thank you for listening to my voice.